are you?
I am Jello Biafra.
Jello Biafra, welcome to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Haven't you said that to me before?
Well, actually, that's what I was going to say. I've been interviewing you since 1989, Jello.
Wowie zowie.
When you were here doing Terminal City Ricochet.
That is when we first met, isn't it?
1989 till now, I've been doing interviews with you, Jello. That's like 21 years worth of interviews.
But I have more sentimental feelings about the second interview when I knew what you were going to do for me and drew all over your face with a magic marker, not knowing you still lived with your parents and they didn't know you were Nardwuar, and you had my little instant tattoos for weeks.
Hey, Mr. Biafra, can we ask you a question?
Oh my God, it's Nardwuar with a camera, and I've got a marker too.
I was wondering, Jello, do the American...
He's speechless. Nardwuar is speechless, and he has to go to work tomorrow.
Jello Biafra, do the American people have the government that they deserve?
I would say they have the government that some people deserve, but the ones who deserve it are inflicting it on us and not obeying their own laws.
And finally, I was wondering, looking at your belt buckle right here, I have charted the progress of this star belt buckle throughout the years. What is the true story behind this belt buckle Jello Biafra?
Well, I got it when I was 15 years old because I thought it looked like Jim Dandy's buckle of Black Oak, Arkansas.
And you've kept wearing it since?
Yep.
This has Dead Kennedy spit on it.
Yep. Probably has some of yours too.
This is the thank you. And here's the real final. We have a nice Canadian present for you, Jello Biafra. A lucky chestnut for Jello Biafra.
Thank you. Looks like a chocolate-covered tumor.
Yes, I had to wash all the marker off with this terrible soap, and I got a terrible rash.
Is that where that song came from?
Yes, indeed. I got a rash by the evaporators. Give me some ointment. I need an appointment.
Oh, there you go.
And now, you're not...
Does that mean all your fans here think I gave you herpes?
No, but you gave me a lot of knowledge, Jello, and I'd like to ask you right off the bat, you've been talking a lot about this person right here, Henrietta Lacks. What can you tell the people about Henrietta Lacks?
Well, Henrietta Lacks is the subject of a newer song by my band, the Guantanamo School of Medicine, which is going to come out on our EP early next year, which is called Enhanced Methods of Questioning. We played it as the first encore song at the Vancouver show, and she's basically African-American woman from Baltimore who was a cervical cancer victim in the early 1950s, but it was very exotic, weird cervical cancer that they'd never seen before, and Johns Hopkins was treating her. She was very poor, so it never occurred to them to ask her first about saving her cells or anything. And so they took all these cells out of her. She died shortly thereafter, and they loved them because most human tissue cells can't grow outside the human body. These did. The problem being that they grew and grew and grew and grew and started turning up in other people's labs, other people's experiments, spoiling all this stuff, and then the scientists wouldn't admit they were wrong, and they wouldn't admit that Henrietta Lacks had struck again. A lot of good stuff came out of it too. Apparently even penicillin was tested on this. And so the issue for the book is that Henrietta Lacks's relatives and descendants have never really been compensated for what has now made Hopkins billions of dollars.
I love the way you introduce politics, though, Jello Biafra. For instance, I went to your website, the Alternative Tentacles website, and I found out I could buy an Obama dildo.
Yeah, somebody solicited us on those, so I said, okay, why not?
What do you think about stuff like that? For instance, Jello, may I offer up this? Sarah Palin embarrassments.
What's that gonna do? Give me like right-wing Tea Party murderer breath or something? Here, this is what a decomposed moose smells like in Sarah's garage.
What do you think about stuff like that, though? Like political stuff like that, embarrassment, Sarah Palin embarrassments.
Wasn't it you, or was it Jimmy Twilight over in Victoria who gave me the pop-up Bin Laden game?
I think that probably would have been Jimmy.
Yeah.
What about yourself, though, Jello? Have you been approached by Jello ever to make like an anarchy-flavored Jello?
Thankfully, only you have thought of that, because they haven't even gotten around to suing me, thankfully. They sued Green Jello pretty quick after they got known. Maybe the hyphen was in there. I don't know. I never used the hyphen because I didn't realize it was there, because I don't really like eating Jello. I never really liked it very much. You know, I like junk food, but it better be good if I'm going to wreck my body like that. But no, I think the one that I'd really like to do someday, though, if they have one of these celebrity micro brews, I want to make Jonestown Ale and dye it purple.
Here we have the Dead Kennedys with the Subhumans on
November 22nd.
How many gigs did you play on JFK Death Day, and was it scary playing on JFK Death Day?
Well, not in Canada. Subhumans were so good that night, they blew us off the stage with Iggy in the room, no less. But it was a good gig had by all. And the previous time, though, we inadvertently were booked at Mabuhay Gardens on that date. And then Dirksen thought he'd make more money by switching us out because Wes Robinson, another promoter, needed a venue for Sun Ra. And then the San Francisco Chronicle's venerable columnist Herb Cain ran a blurb complaining about us playing on November 22nd, and Dirksen realized, oh my God, I've got a media angle now. I can play with this. And so back on the bill we went, and we wound up being double billed with Sun Ra.
Jello, did you ever meet Sid Vicious? Because I heard you met Sid Vicious in the hospital with Darby Crash of San Francisco General.
Good God, what kind of a weird rumor is that? I've never met Sid Vicious. He was long gone before I was ever in San Francisco.
And how about Johnny Rotten? You've met him twice, haven't you?
Once at a Bob Mold's dressing room in San Francisco.
Because he said that he met you backstage in San Francisco, and also another time. Yes, I interviewed Johnny Rotten finally, and I asked about Jello Biafra.
And what did he say?
This is what Johnny Rotten said about Jello Biafra. Have you met Jello from the Dead Kennedys at all?
Yes, I have. I met him backstage at San Francisco once. I met him also another time doing an interview in Boston with a DJ then at the time. His name was Oedipus. And both times I thought he talked too much and over-intellectualized everything, and it seemed kind of humorless. And whatever his personal agenda was, I thought it was too predominant for me. There was no, give it a break, lay off the showbiz and just be a human. He was too busy selling himself, deliberately trying to be outrageous, which is always nauseating.
Well, now I'll say it. Lydon reminded me of my grandmother. We've never met. We've never met. So what's it like being on all those chat shows anyway? Which, of course, was a political question because it meant he knew I'd gone up against Tipper Gore on Oprah and all that stuff. So, of course, the discussion got political.
Lastly, Jello Biafra, thanks for speaking to me, Nardwuar, the Human Serviette. What do you think about the Sears Tower now being renamed the...
I don't know.
It's called the Willis Tower in Chicago.
Wow. That I can just hope it was named after the right Willis. I mean, another time I thought of Wesley was when Obama, there was all that euphoria when he actually won the election and came out in the park in Chicago to do his little victory speech. And it occurred to me, I wonder what Martin Luther King would think of this. And the very next person who popped into my head, wow, what would this mean to Wesley? And then, of course, I knew what it would mean to Wesley. He would have been in that crowd about half a mile back, but you'd hear him clear as a bell on all the TV cameras. He's going to whip a mule's ass. We have a black president, Barack Obama. He will rock Saddam Hussein's ass to Russia. That would have been great.
The unreleased Obama track by Wesley Willis. Thank you so much, Jello Biafra.
Well, yeah, everybody can make their own Wesley songs now, so that would be a good one, yeah.
Anything else you want to add to the people out there at all, Jello Biafra?
Well, good luck surviving this man, but he'd make a better dictator than Sarah Palin, because then you can keep on rocking in the allegedly free world.
Well, thanks so much, Jello. Keep on rocking in the allegedly free world, and do-do-do-do-do.
Tweet, tweet. All right.